the Eastern Cape, Newcastle, in Kwazulu-Natal, people there have had to be evacuated from their homes. It comes after heavy rains in that part of the province as well, caused by severe flooding in the area. Let's get more information now from our senior reporter, Siphamandla Goke. A very good morning to Mfoka Goke, a rather evening or afternoon. I'm always sitting in my morning spaces now, but a very good afternoon to you, Mfoka Goke. What is happening in Newcastle at the moment? Because, I mean, take it back to April last year. The traumas of that disaster are still not dealt with yet. And I mean, we've just spoken to Eileen Carter now, who herself is saying they haven't recovered from last year, and now they're dealing with this year.
Indeed, and I guess what happened last year is what has led to many people panicking, being traumatized, pressing panic buttons and anxiety because it's flooding in Newcastle. But we have not received reports of loss of life for now, but authorities are busy trying to collect information and update. But my colleague Joe Komane will show you where we are. This is a bus rank, and across it's a taxi rank. It's covered by water. You can see for yourself that on a normal day it's always busy here with a number of buses and taxis and consumers or passengers who are busy boarding that public transport. But you can see here even dust bins are just covered in water here. There are trolleys that are underwater. Usually there is some sort of an economic activity that takes place here, but today you can see that it's just water that has taken over this place. So this is really a concern for the provincial authorities in Kwazulu-Natal and Newcastle municipality authorities. Here, a number of people were telling us earlier on that, it's not been raining that hard, but the rain has been very consistent over a number of days now, about a week or so, if I'm not mistaken. They say it's been raining, but they did not expect that it will be flooding. Also, many people that we have spoken to, they have been telling us that it appears that the issue is the drainage system in this part of Newcastle. Of course, there are also reports that when you go to the township, which is Osizweni Township, there are certain areas that are flooding, but not the entire township. And also when you come to Newcastle CBD, there is some sort of an activity that is taking place, but most parts of the CBD are indeed affected by this flooding that is ongoing here in Newcastle. And remember, during last year's floods, this part of the province was not heavily affected. It was Durban, which is the economic hub, which was severely affected, and if I'm not mistaken, Ilembe District Municipality and Umkungundlovu. But Newcastle and Ladysmith, they do experience flooding now and again, and in this case it's been about a week of rain, and it has led to a number of roads being closed and a number of shops being closed down in the CBD because there cannot be any economic activity due to flooding. So that is what is currently happening here at the moment in Newcastle. We'll try and speak to some of the people who will talk to us about the impact of what is happening here in Newcastle, because consumers or passengers have been telling us that they are struggling with public transport. Yes, there are taxis that are working and operating, but buses are not operating where we are. Mtaka baba, siyabonga kakhulu ngesikhathi sakho. Ziqale nini lezi imvula nokuthi zinikhahlameze kangakanani?
Uqala kwalezi imvula, uqala kwazo ziqale khona einsukwini sezinesikhathi, kodwa ke ukunetha kwazo sezisihlukumeze kakhulu, ngoba uma ubheka yonke le ndawo le bekufanele ngabe sinamabhasi esigibela kuwo, sibe nama-taxi esigibela kuwo, kodwa siyahlukumezeka. Manje isikhathi sokuthi sikwazi ukuthi sigibele sihambe semakhaya, kona ngiyabonga ngoba abafuthi sisebeze bagcine basenzele iplan ukuthi ama-taxi bagcine besilayela ukuthi asetholakala ngaphandle kwelokhunjana kwerenke. Kodwa ke siyabonga ukuthi sebesize ngaleyo ndlela, kodwa amabhasi ngaleyo ndlela la siwafuna khona awatholakali njengamanje.
Asikhulume ngengqalasizinda la infrastructure. Kunesikhalo eNewcastle ukuthi ilento ekwazi ukuthi imelane nokuhambisa amanzi Malina, i-drainage system ayikho sezingeni, njalo Malina avamile ukuhlala kanje amanzi.
No, kuyaqabukela khona malinethe kakhulu kuyenzeka bese kuba ilesimo enisibonayo nani, lesi sokuthi amanzi abe sefika la erenke. kuvamisile ukuthi amanzi afike ngaleso sikhathi kodwa ke ama-drain awekho sezingeni lokuthi alungiseke ngendlela eright bese ke kwazi ukuthi yonke into ama-surish nawo mayiblocker ayablocka lapha kugcina manje kugcina kungasahambeki lapha kahle ngendlela eright.
Sicela usikhumbuze igama nesibongo mntaba.
Xolani uZulu isibongo.
Makeba siyathokoza baba sikudedele. Xolani Zulu telling us that well it started over a number of days ago, just a couple of days ago, a few days ago it's been raining and it has led to this. He does confirm that indeed now and again if the rain is persistent they will find a situation whereby they will experience flooding, and of course municipal authorities and provincial authorities have in the past raised the issue of the drainage system in Newcastle and surroundings, and I guess it's one of the issues that we'll be putting through to local authorities and provincial authorities when we interview them. Earlier on, a statement was released by the Premier of Kwazulu-Natal, Nomusa Dube, who said that she's urging residents in those areas that are affected by the severe weather conditions to be extra careful, and a very popular annual Amarula Umtai festival, which is known as Umkosi Wamaganwe in northern KwaZulu-Natal, far north of KwaZulu-Natal in Kwangwanase, which was set to take place today, has been cancelled due to a very bad weather. And I can tell you that Amarula festival usually sees thousands of people from Mozambique, Swaziland and South Africa coming together to celebrate during the Amarula festival, but it has had to be cancelled because of these heavy rains.
Understandably so, and hopefully this is a matter that can be dealt with quite speedily. Siphamatla Koke, we'll leave it there with you. Thank you very much. That is our senior reporter, Umfoka Koke, coming out of Newcastle.